All right, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Wait, I have the back lights out. Oops. No problem. I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to let it go because I'm comfortable and I'm staying right here and I'm in pajamas. So you'll have to deal with it. Welcome, everybody, to the show. My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God. He's a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them, one that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. Been a Christian all my life. 41 years non-denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Many times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you are tuning into this show, if you are listening to me stream here, you are going to be getting my honest takes, my honest opinions on whatever it is we're discussing. So if you are somebody who is interested in learning more about Jesus, you are not a Christian, but you're thinking about it, you want to know more about what this faith thing, who this Jesus guy was all about, maybe there's a voice in the back of your mind wondering if there's more to this life than just your life here on earth. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Hopefully, the impressions that I can give you from this stream, one of a very amateur layperson, is exactly the type of source that you're looking for. Somebody who is not going to be preaching to you from the pulpit, but somebody who'd be sitting next to you in the pew. One who sat there for many years and is willing to absorb to share with you what I've absorbed over that 41 years. So that's what you're looking for. Pull up a chair and like and subscribe to the channel. Stick around and be and get active. Get active in this stream. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. We run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's all about studying, discussing, keeping up the the reverence and following of God in a small community setting. We are a very small community. But hey, it's great at the size it's at. We'd love to see it get bigger. But either way, whether you are maybe a newcomer to the faith, maybe just looking for influence, looking for answers, or you've been a Christian all into been looking. Wait, hold on. Got distracted by a message that popped up. Maybe you're new to the faith. Maybe you're just seeking out information. Or maybe you've been a Christian all your life and you're more mature in your faith than I am. No matter what, get in that chat, which was just distracting me with the question that popped up. That's what I mean by be active in this stream. I want to hear from you. I want to get your opinion. What do you think? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What are we talking about that you might have a unique opinion, experience, or insight to that you'd like to share with us? We want to hear what you think. We have a great group of folks who tune in and night out. And I'd love for you to be a part of it. We're a small community, which means whatever you post up there, I'm going to read it and respond to it. You don't have to, but like I said, I'd like to hear from you. With that said, let's get into the show. Emmanuel Sorio first in tonight. Good hello, everyone. Hello, sir. Matt Felty next coming in Dresden. Matt Felty asks, yo, Stu, did you look into community posts and setting the schedule on break? I did not. Setting the schedule, I need to get. Yeah, I guess I do need to look more into it. That one completely went out of my mind. I haven't thought about that at all. Didn't even think to look into it. I've still got to send Blaine some stuff to help with the intro. He's got some tools that'll help me, hopefully with the outro as well. But yeah, just some things to clean up. Maybe it's something for me to still work on. The stream's job is never done, fellas. I'll continue to work on it. You guys are worth it. Y'all are worth it. God's worth it. So anyway. All right. Updates from yesterday? No. I don't got anything special to talk about unless you guys have got something. So Matt Felder says, no worries. I'm a friendly reminder. I'm Slack on joining locals and Discord for off-stream communication. It's okay. I'm terrible about communicating in the Discord as well. I get in there like once or twice a day. Maybe. If it's the weekend, I might not. But I'm on. That's weird. I'm on Blaine. I peruse Blaine's Discord too, just because it's more active. Anyway. All right. So let's just get right into it tonight. Middle of the week. It's Tuesday. Nothing super pressing. Let's get into it. We're in 49. Chapter 49. Or Psalm 49. So we won't call it chapter. Psalm 49 and Psalm 50. Tonight we learned so we will hit the 1/3 mark today, right? Because if we look at Psalm, it is an even 150. It is an even 150. So we are going to hit the 1/3 way tonight. Go back and reflect off of that. We're going to start off with Psalm 49, the confidence of the foolish. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is going to speak directly to me because many times, I run my mouth foolishly. But let's see what God has to say, probably to chastise us on such behavior. Come into this with humility, folks. I won't, so I can get smacked down properly. I'll be the example for you guys to know not to follow. The confidence of the foolish. Psalm 49, to the chief musician, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Hear this, all peoples. Give ear, all inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall give understanding. I will incline my ear to a proverb. I will disclose my dark saying on the harp. Why should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity at my heels surrounds me? Those who trust in their wealth and boast in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their souls is costly, and it shall cease forever. And he should continue to live eternally and not see the pit. It's a thing on that. Experience corruption is the footnote on that. That he should continue to live eternally and not see the pit. For he sees wise men die. Likewise, the foolish and the senseless person perish and leave their wealth to others. Their inner thought is that their house will last forever, their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man, though in honor, does not remain. He is like the beasts that perish. And this is the way of those who are foolish, and of their posterity who approve their sayings. Selah. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them. The upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall be consumed in the grave, far from the dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Selah. Do not be afraid when one becomes rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lives, he blesses himself. For men will praise you when you do well for yourself. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. A man who is in honor, yet does not understand, is like the beasts that perish. There you go. I remember you now, Thad the man. I remember you commenting before. And you did pop your head into the chat a couple of times. Seems to fit our times. Yes. Yes. We're going to get into that in just a moment. So, beginning of this starts almost a little bit like Daniel, or not Daniel, like David, right? Hear this, everybody? He's trying to get it. Look, not like the anchor man. Everybody listen. Some urgent news to report. But he is. Let me your ears. Pay attention. What I'm getting ready to say is going to be a little deep. It might come across a little dark, but it's important and truthful. Why should I fear in the days of evil when the iniquity at my heels surrounds me? Odd that it lanes up like that, but why should you fear? Why should you fear? Maybe fear God's wrath. Maybe fear the iniquity around you. Maybe the iniquity that that works within you. I mean, you should be afraid of the sins that you commit. You should be afraid that you should be afraid of what that makes you become. But you should also have peace that through repentance and grace from God, you are forgiven. Those who trust in their wealth and boast in the multitude of their riches, none of them can be by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their souls is costly, and it shall cease forever. Really speaks a lot more towards really speaks mostly towards Western culture as far as the prosperity that we see in Western countries like the US, like the UK. Whether or not UK is a serious country, Canada, France, these places, right, where there's lots of wealth and there is lots of promotion of that wealth. We see it on social media. We see it in Hollywood, in the media. You know, we look at social media influencers, the money, kind of like how what Nick Rekieta says. The money gets stupid. The money gets imaginary almost, like it doesn't feel real. And he's not a big time. I mean, he's not like a huge YouTube personality. when you look at all of who's around him. Probably in his niece there, I don't think there's anyone better. But when you look at YouTube as a whole, there is ridiculous amounts of money. And like you see, like he said, Instagram. I don't know how much there is on Twitter, but you hear about the advertising money that comes in, the revenue, and what they spend their money on. You see all the flashiness of the oil money in Dubai, UAE, and that kind of stuff. You see us do the same thing with our rich. People just go out and buy ridiculously priced things, exotic cars, yachts. They do dumb stuff with it. You see boats that are, $500,000 sinking because somebody didn't know how to drive it and did something stupid with it. Um, Sports athletes. Money is a status symbol, but really, and it can get you necessities, food, water, shelter. It can set your family up, kids, stuff like that. But largely it's a status symbol. And that really means nothing in terms of salvation, in terms of your eternal soul. Those who trust in their wealth and boast in the multitude of their riches, very much the haves, right? This isn't so much um this isn't so much folks, middle class folks who are just or working class folks working paycheck to paycheck, even though we are rich by world standards. Um, we shouldn't be bragging about it. We should be happy and thankful for what we get. But there are definitely people out there. If you look at upper middle class, lower upper class folks who like to show off the money that they have, it it's not a good way to. It's not healthy for your soul. We all talk about what we would do if we had lots of stupid amounts of money. Pay your bills off, set your family up, give money to charity maybe, or for me, I'd go around paying off the mortgages of a few churches and do some other charity work, local stuff where I know the people who are running it. Um, that would be what I would like to think I would do. We don't know, but it's good that we have things like Psalms, like Psalm 49, to put that into perspective. You can't trust in your money. You can't buy your way into heaven. And right there, and like Matt Felty is saying, verse 7 is key. That's what we talk about. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him, for the redemption of their souls is costly. Costly in a way that you don't get by shelling out some shekels. Currency wasn't a thing when sin entered this world and mankind fell. Bartering wasn't even a thing. Wasn't anything to barter. Wasn't anybody to barter with. The economy was non-existent. Everything that has to do with our salvation is spiritual. And there's nothing spiritual about money. Matt Felty said, I was reflecting on Paul's writing on things and titles is rubbish. It is. Can't take. Well, we're going to get to that part in a second. Serrano said, I would call Nurketa second rate. Yeah. Shasta lawyer in terms of money. although people in the level above him completely go into the stratosphere. They do. And I'm going to skip ahead to what he was saying. Look at people like Hassan or XQC. Just from turning on their camera and watching videos, their chat links, they get 10,000 plus a day. Oh, man. To see that in a week. To see that. That would be nice. Pay off some bills real quick. I'd have a much look if I was getting that kind of cheddar. This would be a much better run, much better run stream. It would still be amateur though. It would still be mine. Matt Felty said, "Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." Proverbs 29:25. Hey, spoilers, Matt Felty. But yes, being concerned of state or status is a fear of man. It's boasting too. That's why people like Keanu and Christian Bale are abnormal. Bale drives a 20-year-old Tacoma. He really just likes the Tacoma. Maybe he's a terrorist. Emmanuel Soria said there's always money to be made in the internet, but it's about getting into the algorithm, and what we spend it on is mostly to gratify our desires. Right. Always money to be made on the internet and getting into the algorithm. It's all about getting to that level. Which, before I came up with this idea for a stream, was something I was actually trying to chase. Again, once I came up with the idea, I was like, hey, when I realized, I was like, man, what I got to talk about God? I was like, I can't do that for money. But I can do it. But once I was like, but I can do it. And I should do it. And that could help me in a place that I felt like I was weak as a Christian. And it's helped entirely. And it's let me know all you guys. So good job. Good job, internet. Nernath says, I post memes. Me too, buddy. Emmanuel Sordio says, we sometimes forget when we go to Guatemala or El Salvador, people's daily wage is about $5, while we spend it here in 2 McChickens. I wish 2 McChickens cost $5. Things expensive now. It's different circumstances, and this psalm just shows us. Yeah, in a way, but this is more talking about look, the simple fact of having wealth is not the thing here. And a lot of the more progressive minded people want it so bad to be about that's what they focus on. No, the mindset behind that you can get, the danger and the temptation behind having wealth and having that security that money gives you can put you into the place where you are not trying to grow as a Christian, where you take your eyes off of God and you aren't helping out your brothers, because you might not be able to redeem your brother, but you may be able to get him out of a tough spot. You may be able to help them out. The poor, the hungry, the orphan, the widow. These are people you can help out. You're not redeeming them, but you're giving them a hand up. You're blessing them. You're being a vehicle to bless them as God has blessed you. Some people don't forget that. I know people of means who don't forget that, and they are very charitable with their wealth. And that's good. Remember, not all sins or darkness is overt. It's hidden deep in either the minds and hearts of men. Ooh, very Tolkien-ish sounding, Emmanuel. MR, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the new look stream. Hope things are going all right with you. Serrano says, yeah, pretty much impossible to imagine just receiving $2 million per year just for existing, and that's before all the sponsorship money. Taco Tuesday. I got a Nacho Bell Grande from Taco Bell for $1 and got a $2.50 burrito and $1 freeze. I'm gonna cut this stream short. Just kidding. Things looking up. Thanks. Appreciate you asking. Hey, buddy, you're worth it. You're a good dude. You're a good dude, MR. Good to see you in the chat. All right. But money can't buy your way. It can't save your brother. It can't save you. For he sees wise men die, likewise the fool and the senseless person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inner thought is that their house will last forever, their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man, though in honor, does not remain. He is like the beasts that perish. Yeah. You can't take it with you. We all know this. You're not gonna have a debit card tied to your bank account when you get to heaven. Be like, I hope you were saving. I hope you weren't living Social Security check to Social Security check. It's not how it works, right? We know this. That's one of the most obvious things that we know about heaven. That your physical or metaphysical, whatever, in the ether, possessions aren't translating up into heaven. So why are you concerning that? You're going to be just as rich or just as poor in heaven as those who are richer than you and poorer than you, and you're both gonna die. Can't buy your way out of death either. And if you've got the hubris to think that your bloodline and your house and the things that you build will last forever, that won't either. And it's easy to remember that. Just look at the easy way to the easiest things to remember is look at genealogy. Everybody's doing genealogy these days. The reason you have to look back on your genealogy is to figure out where you came from, meaning you didn't know to begin with. And you can go back, me, as a white person, as a wasp, even though I can't be a wasp if I'm Celtic, if I'm Welsh, whatever. As someone who traces their lineage back to England, Wales, etc. There are houses. We are surnames and everything. None of that stuff is held together for the most part. And that's just thinking of 1,000 years or so. This stuff this is 6,000 years ago, 7,000 years ago, whatever. Wait a minute, where are we at right now? Let's put it in Kings. Okay. 3,000 years ago. Anybody know where the line of David is now? King David? So go to Solomon, eventually goes to Jesus, but it branches off some. Is anybody still able to trace their lineage back to David? They are. I don't know. I don't know them. Never heard of them. Your house won't last forever. Take care of what you can. Probably not in Pakistan, Sarah. MR, if you've never read the Da Vinci Code, that's kind of the premise is what if Jesus got married and had a kid, which he presents as, which Dan Brown presents it as it's a fact. And you just got to trace the conspiracy theories and the Masons and all the other, and the, and the Vatican and all that other stuff. But it's all very loose conjecture tied in with a lot of artistic licensing so that he can get to the conclusions he wants to create a narrative. Exactly. Love that book to be. I liked the book, and I was like, man, this guy has kind of an axe to grind against the Catholics. And then I read Angels and Demons, and I'm like, oh, this guy really has a problem with Catholics. And those are really the only two good books. The other books he come out with. I read the one about they were in DC. It was really dumb. Got you reinterested in the church as a kid? I read that in man, I was getting ready to deploy to Iraq when I read that book. I'm so old. This is the way of those who are foolish, and of their posterity who approve their sayings. Still out. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them. The upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall be consumed in the grave far from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Opus Dei? That's heavy. Did y'all really do all that physical pain punishment? Whew. I wish. You were. Oh, you're not. You weren't Opus Dei. Okay. Like, daggone, dude, you've gone through some trials. Um, Da Vinci Code is a more polished and more tame Angels and Demons. Way more believable too. The whole helicopter scene in Angels and Demons is dumb. Just dumb. It really kind of jumps the shark to me. Um, this is the way of those who are foolish, and the posterity of who prove their sayings. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them. You're gonna die, and you can live in the moment, or you can pretend it's never gonna happen. Either way, way, your strength will fail. Your beauty will go away. Um, your beauty will go away. Your mind, unfortunately, in many cases, will be lost. But your spirit's going to be around, and God's going to come and redeem it if you're saved. What's going on, Jenny? Hadn't seen you this week. How's it going? First time you heard about the Concorde jet? Man, I grew up. The Concorde jet was the thing. No, Tom Hanks was Da Vinci Code. Nicolas Cage was crap. That was National Treasure. National Treasure. Thad the Man says Heiser and Ehrman thoroughly debunked Da Vinci Code. Well, to me, it was like didn't seem like it was. The funny thing was, all right, so I'm getting ready to deploy, right? The time I'm production controller, I'm managing all the maintenance in the hangar. So I'm up in this office, and the first sergeant comes up, who I share an office with. First sergeant comes up, and I'm listening to it on audio. So I've got it in the boom box next to me because I had them on discs. I had CDs, audio CDs. I had the boom box next to me, and it was playing. And he was like, "Oh, you listen to Da Vinci Code?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh man, you know how all that stuff's real?" And I go, "No, it's not." He goes, "Oh, yo," and he's like talking, like he's gone all the way down the rabbit hole. And I'm like, "Yeah, none of that's true." I didn't even need um Heiser or Earlman or whatever the guy's name was to go through it, but it's nice to know that somebody documented it going through because look, the way he presents it is almost that it's the names and faces. Like what happens if we really studied what happened and I know all the things. Awful. Awful. Boomer box, yeah. Yeah. Oh, rest in peace. Swivel nose. Look, MR. All right. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna get back on topic. If you haven't read Clancy yet, it's much better. It's not the same genre. It is thriller, but it's more military, technical military style. Clancy's my favorite. Read the Jack Ryan series. If you haven't read Red Storm Rising, read that first. It's not a Jack Ryan book, but it is a is a book written in the 80s about now. This is some of the Chavez and Jean Clark are introduced in the books from the Rainbow Six, but everything else is whatever. He's not a video game guy. Serrano, he is an he had very little to do with the video games. You, you children. Red Storm Rising is a book written in the 80s about what would happen if a conventional non-nuclear war broke out between NATO and the Warsaw Pact. So basically the US and allies versus Russia and the Iron Curtain. Right? And it goes play by play. It is an awesome read. It is an awesome read. And it really put them on the map. And then Patriot Games, then you can do Red Rabbit, which happens in between. He wrote that much later, much longer after the series was well established. But Patriot Games, Red Rabbit, if you want to, Hunt for Red October, Cardinal of the Kremlin, Clear and Present Danger, Debt of Honor, Executive Orders, Shut Your Mouth, Nernath, Executive Orders, I'm missing one in there. Anyway, Executive Orders, Rainbow Six, The Bear and the Dragon. It might be tactical, but the writing itself, the story is knit better. Nobody mixes the two better, in my opinion. Because Clancy got other people to do that work for him. A dude was just an insurance salesman who really geeked out over the military, but could tell a story. Anyway, that's MR. If you're looking for a book series to get into that's really rewarding and will teach you about the best part of the U.S. military history, there it is. That is right there. Go through Tom Clancy. Do Red Storm Rising and then the Jack Ryan series. Nernath is going to get an argument with me. Or you could do both. Do not be afraid when one becomes rich, when the glory of his houses increase. For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. The while he lives, he blesses himself. For men will praise you when you do well for yourself. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. A man who is in honor, yet does not understand, is like the beasts that perish. Jenny. Hold on. Let me finish this, and then I'm going to get it. I think this is the way I read this here is really more like somebody who steps over other people, or maybe defrauds their neighbor, or somebody uses less than uh, less than honorable methods to gain wealth. And you might look on that and be like, they don't deserve that. They didn't earn that. They took advantage of somebody. They stole from somebody. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Because even if they're honorable, they don't understand God. They're just like the beasts. So if they got that stuff through ill-gotten gains, and they think that that's securing they think that they're on top of the world, it's gonna end. So when I say that we all need to be paying attention to this, I'm going to go ahead and assume none of us are super rich. And I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt and talk about that we haven't stepped on other people to get where we're at. But we don't need to envy those that do, or resent those that have gotten there that way, to the point where it gets in our way. Oh yeah, while men will praise you when you do well for yourself, you bless yourself. Yeah, trading for praise. You're always going to have you're going to have people who hang on to you, who want some of the drippings, the leadings. You're going to have your posse. You're going to see these people walking around. You see these folks. I wish I was like them. They don't deserve what they have. Don't worry about what they deserve or what they don't. Kind of like what we were saying a couple of Psalms ago. It's not this time right here is fleeting. It's fleeting. Whether you die tomorrow or die in 60, 70 years, 80 years from you really young folks. If you live to be 100, it's just 100 years. It's not that long. Eternity is the goal. What you have, it's nice to set your kids up. Your kids aren't going to benefit from you. They're not. If you are righteous, your kids aren't. That doesn't just necessarily mean your kids are going to be righteous. If your dad is righteous, doesn't mean that you're righteous. We're only halfway through, Nico, and I didn't even do much of an intro. The bottom line at the end of this, depending on, it doesn't matter where you land on the worldly possessions or on the wealth scale. If you got it, it's not going to get you anywhere. If you don't got it, it's not worth resenting others who do. Ties all back to the 10 Commandments. Jealousy, envy, covetousness. Crap, now I can't do it. Coveting other people's stuff. Stealing. And not honoring the Lord. It's amazing. It's amazing how many you can violate by letting money get in the way of things. Whether you have it or you want it. So Renee said Red Storm Rising is good, though. I will agree. Of course, you should agree. I view you as a somewhat intelligent person, so of course you would agree. Hey, George R. R. Martin. Okay, so I've read all that's out of A Song of Ice and Fire. And while it was is very lewd and very crass in many of the scenes. I think a lot of the value of his writing comes with shock. But it doesn't. But what I noticed is when I finished it and I read another series and I came back to it, I couldn't read it again. Maybe you could, but to me, it was like not a lot of replay. It relies so much on the what's going to happen next that once you know, it's like, okay, cool. I want to know how the story ends. I watched the show and I was just like, yeah, it's kind of lame. But I think at first I thought that they were going to do an alternate. The writers of Game of Thrones was going to do like an alternate ending, and George Martin already had this other thing. But now I think they didn't, and he looked at the reaction to how the series was wrapped up, and he's like, "Oh, if I finish this series, nobody's going to like it." So they're taking the Half-Life way out. He might be taking the Half-Life way out, which is I had a great first couple of games and now I can't finish it because it would never live up to the hype. And so I'm just never going to finish it. MR, I was just reading R. Scott Baker. I'm sorry, R. Scott Backer. I could use a break. Check it out. Definitely. I'm gonna read it again. I've read the Jack Ryan series a million times. It's awesome. That man, price is pricey. Renee says George R. R. Martin is like fast food fantasy, voluminous but empty. I like fast food. Plus, he will never finish. Yeah. Verse 18, key to that section. I did highlight that. Fairtax, welcome to the stream. Welcome, Nico. Serrano says Matt Pat of Game Theory announced he's going to be retiring. He made millions from his channel, and that's amazing. Feel happy that he gets to stop and spend time with his wife and, I assume, kids. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. This is an important psalm, and it's read at a lot of Catholic wakes. Interesting. By the way, Stu, you need to play Last Train Home. Who writes it? I might listen to it. Nico, you're always missed. Here's what I miss the most about your presence, too, Nico, is your reactions to so much of what we talk about. I loved you were like, I can't believe this is happening. Of all the things, and during all the things, because most of this stuff is brand new to you. Nunaeth, as the great philosopher, the notorious B.I.G. said, mo money, mo problems. Yeah. Just got off work and your stream's already responded to that. Talk about Linux. Yep, a bit much. Mar said, I think he's got it slated to release posthumously. Fairtax, if you like that, you should listen to George Crumb. George Crumb. MR said, it's a game about a Czech legion navigating the Russian Civil War by rail. It's unit. Oh, you mean okay. It's not a song. It's a game. It's a unit, train management, and tactical combat. It's on Steam. Emmanuel Osorio. I've only read David Balducci, The Innocent. I've read a little bit of his. His is pretty decent. I would say it's like it's good enough that I enjoy it when I read it, but it doesn't have me coming back to it. I've been wanting to get into more military fiction and non-military fiction books. Emmanuel, all right. Here's my recommendation to you, Emmanuel, because I know you do a lot of you're on the road a lot. If you've got an Audible account, listen to get Tom Clancy books, get for the military fiction, nonfiction. If you want long fantasy novels, Wheel of Time, if you haven't read that yet, that takes forever. Those books are huge. But do the same thing I was telling MR. Start with Red Storm Rising. Let me look. This is turning into an off-topic stream. Let's see. I've got it in my library. Because I like the value. Because 31 hours. 31 hour audiobook. That's a lot. That's a lot for your money. I have not read Starship Troopers yet. It is definitely on my list. Nico said, "Oh, thanks. On the other hand, you mean in other news, I started going to a church and it's been 3 weeks." Well done, Nico. And I attributed it mostly to you, Stuart. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Alex Moore is here. Woo. It's not even the biggest of Clancy's, and it's not even close to the biggest of Terry Goodkind's or Robert Jordan, who Terry Goodkind is discount Robert Jordan. His stuff is huge. Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Starship Troopers. I'm gonna have to Last Train Home. I wonder if I think that might be on my Last Train Home might be on my wish list somewhere. Sean Bird is here, man. Everybody's coming in, but we got a nice big stream tonight. Ooh, you could get a library card, and I think there's some software called Libby that lets you get audiobooks from anywhere. Yeah. Love Clear and Present Danger, the novel before the movie. The movie was good. I like Harrison Ford as an actor for Jack Ryan, but I thought, oddly enough, Alec Baldwin nailed it best in Hunt for October. I think he nailed Hunt. I think he just had the look of when I read through because I read the books before I take that back, before I rewatched Hunt for October, because I went to watch Hunt for October when I was 5. My dad took me to see it. Look, Alex, there are so many Tom Clancy books where what happened does happen. Rainbow Six, COVID, 9/11, the end of 9/11, executive orders, kind of. No, he wasn't. He does. Look, Sean Connery gets points taken off for that stupid Scottish Russian accent. It's more the books, it's not political so much as it is technical. If you like if you want to understand the technical side, he kind of there's a lot of pausing in the action or the narrative where he's kind of explaining how the things work. Like in Sum of All Fears, that's one of the ones I left out. It's a huge one. In the Sum of All Fears, he's explaining basically the science behind the nuclear bomb. Oh yeah, yeah, Tim Curry, Captain. I always forget Tim Curry's in that movie. It's great. The Doctor. Or my Crap, what's his face? From Jurassic Park, Peaky Blinders, Sam Neill. Would like to have seen Montana. Maybe I will need 2 wives. Exactly. I did. I love Hunt for October. That was my first introduction. The Hunt for October and Sum of All Fears. They do. Well, I think they gloss over it too much. Like they don't really get into it, but they understand why. But I mean, that's what they do. It's kind of like how they treat Chavez's character in and John Clark's character in. Oh crap! Ah, I gave you the wrong order. MR. Red Storm Rising. When you start the Jack Ryan series, don't start with Patriot Games. Start with Without Remorse. You want to see the worst adaptation of a Jack Ryan film that Amazon did, I think? Stupid. Willem Dafoe is awesome. He does a great John Clark, even though John Clark is like is built like Reacher, apparently. Like he's the original Reacher. You'll love Without Remorse. Without Remorse is he wrote it after Patriot Games and Hunt for October, and I think Without Remorse came out of when they really introduced reintroduced John Clark, and then he was so popular, I think, that Clancy went back and wrote Without Remorse, which is basically John Clark's origin story. Such a good movie. Such a good book. Terrible movie. Completely redid everything. Made Admiral Greer into a woman, and the whole story revolves around the wrong. It's just all wrong. Yeah, no, that was the thing. Was Jack Ryan is never. He's an analyst. He's not, but he finds himself in places where he has to be a guy in the field, and he's kind of like the everyman, or kind of how the everyman sees himself and how he would overcome things. I think it's a lot of ways that probably Tom Clancy was. This is how I'd like to be if I was in a in conflict or in a do or die situation, while without being an actual superhero. However, James Earl Jones as Greer, probably the best cast in all of the Jack Ryan series, all of the movies, period. James Earl Jones as Admiral Greer, best cast. Better than Willem Dafoe. Better than Willem Dafoe. Greer, such a good character in the books. So, anyway. And Robbie Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson. Does Samuel L. Jackson play Robbie Jackson in the books? Gates McFadden on for October, I know. And then it's what's her face? The British looking girl chick from in Patriot Games. Gosh, I could talk about Tom Clancy all day. All right, we need to finish. We need to finish. Everybody, if you haven't read Jack Ryan, read Jack Ryan series. So that's your But hey, she's a doctor in the books. She's a doctor in the books. If you haven't read it, read the books. They're great. Start with Red Storm Rising. It's just a cool look into kind of what if the Cold War ever broke out into a shooting war but didn't go nuclear. It goes and it follows kind of what might happen and how everybody would probably try to keep it from going nuclear. And you get you get naval warfare, you get submarine warfare, you get infantry warfare, you get air superiority, fight for air superiority. You got the beginnings of stealth tech, surface to air, air to air, or surface to air defense. All this stuff is covered. Urban warfare, forest warfare, all that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, all right. You guys got me on. Y'all got me today. I can't remember the guys. I know them by face. But not by 23 verses to cover. God, the righteous judge, a psalm of Asaph. Oh, we got a new introducing a new person writing the psalm in 50. The mighty one, God the Lord, has spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun to its going down. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God will shine forth. Our God shall come and shall not keep silent. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous all around him. I'm going to go ahead and analyze as I go through these, just to kind of speed through this a little bit. This one's basically God in his glory, right? This is Asaph, basically. This is defension. Mighty one, God the Lord, spoken and called the earth from the rising. He's put it all into existence. God will shine forth. God will come and not be silent. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous all around him. Very much the God, the embodiment of what you picture of God in the Old Testament and Revelation. He shall call to the heavens from above, and to the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together to me. Let those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. I'm sorry, hold on. And he shall call the heavens from above and to the earth that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together to me, those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Let the heavens declare his righteousness, for God himself is judge. Selah. I think Selah is like an amen. Amen. So this already, like, from the beginning, very much sounds like Revelation. Sounds like the book of Revelation. So it's like coming in, I'm here to judge. Time's up. Daddy's home. Gather my saints, all my people. Get my posse around me. Those of you who have sacrificed and been faithful, come together. Let me gather you up. Let the heaven declare his righteousness, for God himself is judge. Right. Oh, Salah is a pause point for reflection. Almost like take a second and think about that. That's good to know, Nernath. Hear, O my people, and I will speak. O Israel, and I will testify against you. I am God, your God. I will not rebuke you for your sacrifices or your burnt offerings, which are continually before you. And I will not take a bull from your house, nor goats out of your folds. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know all the birds of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. This is God speaking. This isn't the author speaking as God. This is what God is saying. This is what he will say. Hear me, and I am going to bring your judgment upon you. But I am not here to forget what you've sacrificed for me. I'm not here to reject your pleas for forgiveness, your sacrifice, um your offerings for your sin offerings, your free will offerings, any of this stuff. I'm not here to push that away, but understand all of this stuff, even the stuff you sacrifice, is mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world is mine and all its fullness. I will eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer to God thanksgiving and pay your vows to the Most High. Call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. All right, so we've moved forward to Revelation, and now we're pulling back to where we go. Remember, remember why you're making these sacrifices, and remember, and that'll help you understand why I'm not going to reject them, and understand my power. If I was hungry, I wouldn't need to tell you a daggone thing. I'd just go out and get it. But do I need to? No. But continue to be thankful, continue to repent, and continue to call on me when you are in trouble. Follow the commandments. Do what I have instructed you to do, and I will deliver you, and you will be thankful, and you will praise me. You shall glorify me. But to the wicked, God says, what right have you to declare my statutes or take my covenant in your mouth, seeing you hate instruction and cast my words behind you? When you saw a thief, you consented with him and have been a partaker with adulterers. You give your mouth to evil, and your tongue frames deceit. You sit and speak against your brother. You slander your own mother's son. These things you have done, and I kept silent. You thought that I was altogether like you, but I will rebuke you and set them in order before your eyes. MR. MR's getting convicted right now. Um so this is definitely something that we see come forth. This is good. This is good. All of you guys who I've said this before, and I said this today actually to somebody. Don't let how any church or church person or Christian or alleged Christian treats you or treats other people. Their judgment's coming. The easy examples to point out: the Joel Osteens, the Kenneth Copelands out there, Creflo Dollar, these guys who go out and say, hey, bear falsely what God says, and incorrectly represent the faith. But there are others out there who will use the commandments and wield them against other people, while at the same time they are joyfully or willingly violating their own. And here, the wicked, who are you to talk about what I say? Who are you to represent me? Take my covenant in your mouth. You hate what I've told you to do, and you have forgotten it. You've passed it behind you. When you saw a thief, you consented with him, and you ran with him, basically. Saw a thief, hey, cut me in. You've been a partaker with adulterers. You give your mouth to evil, and your tongue frames deceit, and you sit and you speak against your brother. You slander your own mother's son. These things you have done, and I have kept silent. And because you weren't punished outright for it, you think that I'm on your side. You think that you're okay because I haven't put you in your place. Sorry. I will rebuke them. I will rebuke you and set them in order before your eyes. You are Your day of reckoning has come, because the things that happen to you aren't always for you. And just because you haven't been punished doesn't mean you got away with it. And it certainly doesn't mean that it's okay to do. There's a lot of people who are like children and think that. Now consider this: you who forget God, lest I tear you into pieces, and there be none to deliver. Whoever offers praise glorifies me, and to him who orders his conduct aright, I will show the salvation of God. It's not too late. Give earnest and honest praise and fix your ways. The warning's there. If we're all to live together in a good, well ordered society, it requires certain guidelines, the commandments. When folks like this he's describing exist and act in this way, it throws everything out. It throws everything out of whack. But just because they're acting evilly doesn't mean everything's that it's too late for them. There is time. There is time to repent. There is time to fix your ways. There is grace, even in Psalms, even in the Old Testament. God doesn't change. The same God that put Christ, that sent Christ to die on a cross, is the same God in Revelation, is the same God in Genesis, is the same God in Kings, is the same God in Jonah, is the same God in Job, is the same God in Hosea. He didn't change. He's clarified. He's consistent. But you see different sides of him as we see different sides of human behavior. And I don't know the Calvinist perspective, but from my perspective as a free will person, God has shown us his different sides as we have shown him our sides. And you can say that, and he already knows what we're going to do. Whatever. But that doesn't mean he's not going to act on us. He's not going to react to what we do. It's the same God. He doesn't change. The same God who destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah is the same God who was teaching about, who's talking to the woman at the well. Same God who put together the great, who set forth the Great Commission. Just because something involves a lot of pain and loss doesn't mean it's wrong. And know your place. And we all can say that we fit into the wicked in some way. But hopefully you can fit in with the righteous too. You guys have got redeeming qualities. I talked to you guys in the chat. I know there's redeeming qualities about you. Emmanuel said, now this is what God is all about, being the Father, not this, oh, Jesus is my boyfriend crap. What are you talking about? Beth Moore, hot for God. Oh, that's really creepy. Your Nate said, I'm waiting for the break their teeth Psalms. And then guys will read that and be like, yeah. And Marv this makes me feel bad as a lawyer. Nernea said, yeah, sometimes I think I get away with stuff, but I don't. I've lived in the mindset that God sees everything. I don't think I get away with anything. It's those people who let those see a blind eye to stuff that clearly goes against the Bible, yet they want a full free pass for all the wrongdoing in the last minute. Hey, rather they do that than not at all, and they go down into the pits of hell thinking that they were right. It's the question is, do they want a full free pass because they just want to get away with it, or do they want a full free pass because they realize at the end, crap, I was wrong all this time? I don't know. We want as many people to make it in as possible, but and God will let it the right people in. But we want as many people becoming that right person, that righteous person as possible, even if it's at the last second. Matt Felty says, "I know you're not an Elevation fan, but Same God is an excellent song." And they make some. There are some good songs by churches I don't approve of. Who does Oceans? Oceans is beautiful. It's Hillsong. I can't stand Hillsong, but Oceans is a good. It's a good song. It's powerful. Sometimes I think I'll get away with eating a half-pound Reese, but I didn't. And then he said, "Sometimes I think I'll get away with eating a half-pound Reese for breakfast, but I didn't. You never will." Yeah, what is a Reese? You mean a Reese's? Yeah. I like the female voice though. Oh no, is it Pentatonics? Pentatonics all right. That to me, they're kind of hit or miss. It's like, okay, I get it, you're a cappella, and you guys have got a really good range. Okay. And then other times, like, oh, man, that's really that's really good. My girl's Lindsey Sterling, even though she's Mormon. My girl Lindsey Sterling, she doesn't sing, she just plays violin. Great music and music that has put my kids to sleep on many a car ride because it is smooth. Girl loves Lindsay, dude. Success story. Went on America's Got Talent. Told, hey, there's never going to be a market for them. Um, there's never going to be a market for your music. It's too niche. Wins YouTube award the next year. She's got really cool content. Anyway, all right, there we go. So, um, that's the end of the show tonight. For those for the weebs out there, please fly over to my buddy Blaine's Escape Corner. It's getting ready to start. Um, and I might hop on because I'm going to talk about the show I've been watching. Um, Signs. I'm trying to remember which Signs is. There's one called Running, and they played it at church, and I cannot stand it. It's worse than Good Father, where it's who you are, it's who you are. And it's like a million stanzas. It's a million refrains, whatever the hell you call it, just repeats, repeat. Stop. Running is worse because it's just saying running. Rick Springfield wore it for his father. Now I'm dating myself. Look, as long as it's not Bruce Springsteen, most overrated musician ever. Last train is to home, and I'll start Red Storm Rising. I need to put that on that, and I'll put that on there. Remind me about that, MR. In fact, I'll do that right now. Train home. Very positive. Okay. Ooh, I like the time frame on it. All right. Most overrated is Taylor Swift. Yeah, that's obvious. Obvious overrated is obvious. So oh, you should be able to find paperbacks of it easy. Real cheap. All right. You did miss it because I will show, and to him who orders his conduct all right. That was the redemption part. I took 3 years of orchestra. I don't understand sheet music. Johnny Bravo was an awesome cartoon. All right. That's enough. That's enough for tonight. We can continue the off-topic stuff tomorrow night because I will be streaming Thad the Man, Emmanuel Sorsorio, Matt Felty, Sean Bird, MR, Nernaeth, Nico, Serranos. I said Matt Felty, but if I didn't, Matt Felty, Veritex, Jenny, ELJ, Alex Moore. Who else is in here? Been a great stream for the chat. Make me happy. Y'all make me so happy. Look at this. This was a huge, huge chat tonight. We're off topic. Dresden. All of you guys. We're at an hour and a half almost. Hour and a half. Had to have some great conversation with you guys. Y'all make this show better. Thank you. Do not apologize. Do not apologize. Again, this is like a small group. If you've ever been in small group, you understand. You get off topic. And that's good because it just is the good it just is good discussion. And it builds that community, builds that relationship between everybody. Thank you guys. Again, it's awesome. You guys make this show better. I can't do this. I mean, I can do this myself. It's nowhere near as appealing without it. If it's just me reading, big deal. I can't do God the real justice that he deserves by my reading on here. Thank you guys. To everybody who's listening, I'd love for you to get in the chat, but I understand if you don't want to or can't, whatever. Just glad you have something that you can tune into night in and night out. Everybody catching this on replay, I don't apologize for going off topic. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to catch you live sometime soon. You guys have a great night. Have an awesome night. And God bless.